The following is an ECU Sports Network presentation of Inside Pirate Athletics. Inside Pirate Athletics with Coach Michael Schwartz is brought to you by ECU Health, the official healthcare partner of ECU Athletics. Pepsi, the official soft drink of Pirate Nation. Optimum, the official internet provider of ECU Athletics. Town Bank, every Pirate needs a bank. Pizza Hut, the official pizza provider of ECU Pirates. Now, live from Tiebreakers in Greenville, this is Inside Pirate Athletics.
Welcome in. It's great to have you with us here as the Pirates coming off a thrilling overtime victory. Last time out, which was last night against Temple. We'll get into all of that. Stephen Igo is back with us from 247 Hoist the Colors. Good to see you. You feeling all right?
Feeling much better this week.
You got to sleep 30. He got to sleep 30 straight hours. You told me, Coach.
36 straight hours.
I would love it to sleep, but just 36 hours in a week.
Stephen told me normally he sleeps 48 straight.
I wish, Coach, but it was. Tell you what, it was not a fun 36 hours despite sleeping that much straight.
Well, sleeping would be good. That long. Coach Mike Schwartz, man, doesn't get a whole lot of sleep this time of year because it's just the nature of the beast. But I slept a little better last night knowing that your team competed as well as they did.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Win or lose, sometimes the energy and just obviously all the emotion that goes into any game, regardless home or away. But yeah, much better in terms of if you're laying in bed or you're sitting there watching tape or you're having a hard time getting some rest, it's much better knowing that it was coming off of a win.
You're down 8 points, 3 possessions essentially, 7-8 minutes to go in the game, and you talked about you discussed with the guys, hey guys, this is right where we want to be, and it really truly that they obviously believed it because these games are nip and tuck, and they made a great run.
Well, you know, it was a tie game with right under the eight timeout, 7-something to go. I think it was 7:36 to go, a tie game, and we said in the timeout, guys, this is right where we're supposed to be right now.
Right.
And you know, down 8 with 2 minutes 45 seconds.
Not where you're supposed to be. Right.
So, but the bottom line was under 4 timeout, and we were down 7 or 8 points, and it's a 3-possession game. You know, our guys, and we talked about it in film today, there were guys, including 2 of the guys that are here tonight, you know, Bobby Pettiford and R.J. Felton, but along with Jaden Walker and Brandon Johnson that were talking about in those moments, guys, they knew 3-possession game. Guys, plenty of time left. We got to get stops. We got to do that. We made some adjustments to our defense, obviously. We started pressing and trapping. We made some subtle adjustments to our offense to initiate quicker, to try and, you know, obviously you have to play faster at that moment, but with all that being said, again, we do practice those scenarios every single day. We play 4-minute games. We say, look at the score on the clock, look at the time left, what do we need to do? And I just thought that our guys, and I give a lot of credit to our guys, just staying very locked into the moment, because it's very easy to look at that score, 3 minutes, 3 possessions down, and to get to a situation where, you know, maybe you've lost a little bit of luster.
We talked last week about, you know, UAB was just mixing defenses, trying to search for something. You were so much, I think, searching for something, but you didn't realize you needed to play a little more aggressively on defense to try to force their hand. So you had to feel pretty good about the way you all executed the press. Temple kind of looked like they'd never seen a press before at times. I mean, their press offense left a little to be desired.
Well, you know, here's what I would say, that we needed to, you know, change our defense. And anytime, you know, we have our packages that when we know we need to, certain times, certain scores, the way the action goes. But that press and the trapping, it ended up being, and you could say this for the whole night, because we watched the film at length today, and watching the film last night, our defense consistently over the last 80 minutes of basketball has been really strong. I mean, we have been where we need to be defensively in rotations, man, zone, special situation defense, whatever it may be. There's always going to be breakdowns. That's part of it. But when you hold back-to-back teams in the 30s, basically shooting the ball, you'd hold them to the point totals 50s at Wichita State and 64 in overtime. Yep. But here's the deal, is that our offense has obviously struggled. And it's not because we're turning the ball over, we're getting shots, it's just not going through the hoop. And sometimes you go through stretches like this, but what ended up being our best offense last night was our defense, period. And our defense created offense, which created offensive rebounds. So now we're 17 offensive rebounds versus Wichita, 16 last night. And the big thing last night was we get to the free throw line, and the guys made them 26 of 32, and that's a huge, huge deal.
Yeah, Coach, I was going to ask about that defense specifically. Really dating back to conference play, y'all have defended at a pretty high clip. And do you feel like something has clicked there? Is it just a matter of getting to this point in the season, having enough practice? So what do you feel like has kind of flipped the switch there?
Yeah, again, I don't know if it's a flip the switch thing as much as it's our guys are seeing and growing and maturing as a team and understanding that we're able to win games. Even because the number one thing that I would say in basketball, especially with younger teams that haven't experienced winning at a high level for over periods of time, is when the ball doesn't go through the basket and guys are struggling individually shooting, because scoring is what everybody thinks this game's about, and it's the sexy stat, and it's the one that everybody wants to see, and the ball going through, and whether it be fans or media or everyone, that's what they're always talking about. And so what happens is it's very easy for teams that are trying to build a winning culture and understand what it takes to win to ebb and flow based on if the ball is going through the basket. But here's what I know our guys are starting to learn, that there's so many ways to impact this game, and even if the ball's not going through the basket. So what's happened is now, even if we're not shooting the ball well, even if we're struggling on offense, they're continuing to guard. And I think that's what's allowed us to be a top 3 defense in this conference in terms of conference play. Us, SMU, and North Texas are the top 3 defensive teams right now.
They always say defense travels as well, and you guys go to Wichita, only score 54 but win. I mean, they score 70-plus on SMU the other night. So is that a factor as well in the potential road success you guys have had and hopefully we'll have going forward too?
Sure. No, the defense absolutely is. And again, I always say this to our guys. If you shoot 50% as an individual or as a team, you're going to be one of the very best in the country. So that means you make half your shots. If we base our energy or intensity or execution based on if the ball's going in or not going into the basket, that's a 500, that you're giving yourself a 500 chance. Defense can be a 90% rate success in terms of execution, effort, intensity, whatever it may be. There's always going to be outliers. Last night we played consistent defense, but we had a couple breakdowns that were glaring. Temple makes a nice play. We're denying a pass. They screen our own man, and Riley gets right down the lane to the basket. Those plays are going to happen when you play good teams, well-coached teams. But as far as you can play 90, 95% success rate defensively in terms of the process. And I think our guys are really learning that, and especially on the road, like you said.
Coach, 32% from the floor, 14 from 3, but 81% from the line. So I know if you're going to struggle shooting from the field in 3, at least you do want to shoot well from the line, and you guys made some huge free throws last night.
Well, Steve, there's no doubt that we don't win the game if we don't make free throws last night. And the other night, we had 24 more shots than Wichita State on the road, and again, it's a close ball game. We did take a 7-point lead, with under 3 to go when Bob stole that basketball and he went down and finished it. But yes, last night the way we were able to score was from the free throw line. 26 points, shooting at a high rate, 26 of 32, and we talked about that today. R.J. Felton 7 of 7, Ezra Asar 6 for 8, Brandon Johnson 4 for 4, Jaden Walker 4 for 5. I mean, things like that. Even Cam Hayes, who didn't maybe have the game and he struggled a little bit, he goes 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Those are really big points, and man, it's conference play. We're getting to February. Every possession, every basket, every game is an absolute battle. And the American Conference, if you look around, every game is coming down to the last minutes of the ball game.
Yeah, they are. Pirates are 12-10 now overall, 4-4 in the conference, and you probably have to go back quite a ways to find a ECU team with 4 wins going into February in conference. So, I mean, again, just more strides that have been made in this program under Coach Schwartz. The quick turnaround, relatively speaking, in playing Temple. Obviously, there's not that big gap in time since you last played them. But what adjustments did they make from the first time they played you, Mike?
I think the biggest thing that we knew, what you get is when you play a team like that, whether you play them within a few weeks or you play them at the end of the year, you look at, hey, how did they try and attack our defense, and what did they try and do defensively to take away what we want to do? And I think Adam Fisher is a great coach. I have so much respect for him, and Temple is very fortunate that's going to be one of the top programs in our league, and there's no doubt about it with him at the helm. But they did some things on offense where they tried to get the ball into the paint more than they did in the first game. They were posting a little bit more. They were backing down. They were using their big guards. I thought they did a good job getting the ball to the paint and not just shooting threes. theirs is a three-point shooting team. That's what they are. He'd be the first to tell you that. They shoot the three ball volume-wise and makes-wise in this league. But I thought they did a good job attacking downhill from that standpoint. And us on the other side, I thought we did a better job than we did in the first game of not getting in rotations. I thought our switching defense was pretty on point last night. I mean, for us to be able to start Sear Malanga and feel good about switching. Hasir Miller's one of the best guards in this league. Right. There's no doubt about it. But to be able to create that switch a few times and know that Sear could stay in front of the ball and keep that possession at the helm in those moments, I think is a big deal. So the game was very similar to the first game. I don't think there was a ton of differences, their style of play and ours, but I thought they did some things, we did some things. And, you know, in the end of the day, the press is what ended up allowing us to win the game, though, the last 3 minutes.
We'll take a timeout and come back with more. We'll talk about some of the individual superlatives from yesterday and some about the Wichita State game. Pirates will be taking on a team that is right up there in the top of the standings in South Florida Wednesday. So we'll preview the Bulls and a lot more. A couple of Pirate players are here with Bobby Pettiford Jr. and R.J. Felton. So we'll hear from them as well. All of that still to come here on Inside Pirate Athletics on the ECU Sports Network.
We call it drive. The unrelenting desire to become the person you were born to be. Ignited by a moment. The realization that a future you could only dream of is within reach. At East Carolina University, you won't just imagine a path. You'll forge one through hard work and the success that comes without surrender. The journey that leads to your future. And this is where it begins.
He ran a red light and T-boned me.
Got rear-ended on my bike.
His fault. End of story.
No brainer, right?
Just when you think you've got it all figured out, you realize you need Wayne Hardy.
Injury cases are never simple.
There's always more to the story.
Offers you can't refuse.
But it's my job to get you a fair settlement.
Been in a wreck? You need the Wayne Hardy difference.
Being on your side means bringing you the most up-to-date and accurate information.
We know how important it is for you to be informed on what's happening in your community. Whether it's the latest developments in local news,
or knowing what to expect for the day ahead with your Storm Team 9 weather forecast.
Morning Edition has you covered.
Across the East will soon have a new spot to play the game.
Buzzing and trending news today.
Watch WNCT 9 Morning Edition weekdays from 4:30 to 7.
We had other companies out, and Easy Pro easily beat their price.
We are offering $1,000 off your bathroom remodel, plus an additional $300 off if you act right now. Give us a call or go online to easyprobathsexpress.com.
Hello E&C goes all around the East.
From Atlantic Beach,
Newburgh,
Okotoks,
Newport,
Emerald Isle. When did you get here?
Just now.
Jacksonville,
Washington,
Kinston,
Beaufort,
Morehead City,
Goldsboro,
Ayden,
Elizabeth City.
And from Greenville,
we're living, loving local.
If you want the latest in local news,
reliable Storm Team 9 weather forecasts,
and everything in between, we've got you covered.
Watch 9 on Your Side Morning Edition.
Weekdays from 4:30 to 7.
Trust WNCT 9 and Your Side News. Awarded for excellence with 17 honors, including TV News Anchor Team of the Year, Ken Watlington and Courtney Courtwright.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ken Watlington.
And I'm Courtney Courtwright. Thanks for joining us.
And #1 in covering investigative and political stories.
Well, WNCT is your local election headquarters.
Now the bill will be voted on shortly in the House before heading to Governor Cooper's desk.
Thank you for letting us be on your side.
Club members, go Pirates!
Now back to Inside Pirate Athletics from Tiebreakers in Greenville.
All right, did you know, fans, that Greenville Utility spends money on helping their customers spend less? That's right. Get a free energy audit at no cost to you, or find out different ways you could save on your utility bills at GUC.com. Greenville Utilities, proudly powering the Pirates. Welcome back in. We are at tiebreakers tonight in the Bells Fork area. Patrick Johnson, Stephen Igo back with us this week, and Coach Mike Schwartz is with us as well. Boy, R.J. Felton, what a game for him. 24 points and 11 rebounds, and hit a couple of big free throws late for you.
RJ in the house over there. They're clapping for you, RJ. Here's the thing about RJ Felton that I would tell you, and I've said it many times, that he did not allow any of the ball not. He got off to a great start in the game. I mean, the ball's going through the basket. Yeah. He has 8 of our first 10 points. I mean, he's scoring the basketball, and did not allow any of missed shots or times that we were not, we're flat on offense, or the ball's not going to the hoop, and you go through those spells where maybe you don't score 3 or 4 possessions in a row. We do everything we can to try and create 3 consecutive stops on defense. We talk about it a lot. It's a term we use. We have, anyways, and our guys are tracking it during the game, and it's something that, and sometimes it happens to us, and a lot of teams do that, and they have different terminology for it. But what RJ did last night is, when you think about it, 11 rebounds, obviously crucial offensive rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks. That block he had late in the game that ends up being a jump ball when he wedged it in between the backboard and the rim. I mean, plays like that. So the fact is, the ball doesn't go through at the percentage that he normally goes through the basket for him. But everything else, and the word to describe RJ last night was an absolute warrior. I mean, the way he went after that offensive rebound late in the game and played, and then to step up there 11 seconds and make those 2 free throws, that's all heart, and RJ Felton bleeds purple.
Bobby Pettiford Jr. Didn't get the start initially at Wichita State, but came off, played big for you on the bench, was big for you yesterday as well. 2
straight games where Bob has done that for us. And again, same thing with Bobby. You look at some of the rebounds that he's had in the Wichita State game, and then last night he gets 5 rebounds again. We need that from him in a big-time way. And when he got up and rebounded the ball, Wichita last night versus Temple. And here's the other thing about BP right now, with a 3-to-1 assist turnover ratio in conference play, and he knows it, and he'll be the first to say up here, we're encouraging him to even continue to be more aggressive on offense. Again, Bobby can get downhill, he creates, he makes good decisions, he can finish at the rim, and he knows when he's ready and balls kick back out to him, we have the ultimate confidence in him in shooting the ball from behind the arc.
And you guys have been employing, obviously, Jaden at the point some as he's gotten more healthy, but him and Bobby have been playing more together. How do you feel like that dynamic has kind of worked out with both them getting time on the ball and everything?
Yeah, I love it. I love the feeling of having 2 point guards out there. And really that's what it is. And, again, sometimes, starting the game, it's not – everyone gets caught up in the start because it's what's on the video board and it's that fun part of the game. That's great. Really, it's who's in the game at the end of the game, who's able to be in the game during the rhythms where you're playing and the ebb and flow is going on. That's what's important. And last night, Bob and Jaden are in the game at the end of the game in the crucial time and really played straight through the last media timeout and all of overtime in a very high-paced finish to the game in terms of pressing and getting up and down, putting the ball in Bob's hands and telling him to get downhill off certain actions. And he made the right reads and decisions. And then when the ball didn't go in, you think about Brandon's offensive rebound, RJ's 2 tips. The guys execute, and I will say this, going back to Bobby, one thing Bobby understands is he knows how to be a floor general. And he's really like a unicorn dying breed out there in terms of a pure point guard, and we're just very fortunate to have him doing that with this here at ECU.
Ezra and Brandon didn't have the shooting night. We're used to seeing them, obviously 1 of 7, both of them individually. So to win a game, again, going back to kind of defensive rebounding, to win a game when they don't score like you're kind of used to, what does that say as well?
It's huge. It's back to what we want to try hang our hat on. And look, I promise, and I'll tell Pirate Nation this, I'll tell our players this. If I knew we could go to say we're going to average 90 plus, we'd take it in a heartbeat. And we would do it, and without a doubt, we'd feel great about it. But again, you can hang your hat on defense and rebounding. Those are the controllables. And so when we have a team that's starting to see it, Brandon, Ezra, RJ, Bobby, when they're starting to feel and see that, okay, the ball's not going through the basket, but there's still other ways to impact the game, that's when teams really start to come together. Because transition defense, blocking out, loose balls, offensive rebounds, a huge one that not being talked about is taking care of the basketball. To be able to have 8 or 9 turnovers in back-to-back conference games is so big. It's so big not to give another team extra possessions. And that's where I'm proud of the growth of this team right now. And call it how you want to call it, winning ugly, winning gritty. I know this, there's winning and you can control defense and rebounding, and I thought our guys did that the last 2 games.
Coach Bensal Vungo played for you, and for him to pick up what you all schematically are doing, especially defensively, so quickly to earn playing time. And we were just talking about him a week ago, and you want to make sure he's comfortable, you want to make sure he's, and a couple games later he's in.
Yeah, I think, what was it, maybe a few weeks ago he's in here probably having chicken wings or something like that on his visit, and last night he's in a conference game versus Temple. Really proud, and you know what I love? I love the way our guys have embraced him. I mean, in practice, it's awesome because he's still, getting his English up to speed, but the way our guys are helping him every day, the way he works in practice, he's taking everything very seriously. You know why? Because he appreciates this opportunity to be at ECU academically. He appreciates this opportunity to have everything that an ECU Pirate has athletically. And for him to, like as you said, he's only practiced 2 times, Patrick.
Wow.
He's been here for a couple weeks, but through medical, academic, all those things you go through that normally happen in the month of June, he's going through those things right now starting, and he's at 2 team practices, and so proud of him, and we're excited about him to pick up what we did and then play within himself out there.
When you hollered his name down the bench, did he pop right? I mean, did he couldn't believe it, or was he ready to go?
Yeah, that's a great question. I probably got to ask him what was going on down there. I think probably when I hollered it, no one probably said anything. I thought I was probably joking, so no one probably grabbed him, and then finally someone did, and he came in there. But man, on offense, he executed our stuff. I'm not sure if fans saw it, but that loose ball he got in the right corner, in the right baseline where he tapped it in, he saved that ball. That's 2 points. We scored on that possession. And in a game that goes to overtime, everyone always looks at the last play. Coaches say, that was the play, that was the play, there was the play. With 17 minutes to go, that's the play. And he made one of those plays, those extra effort winning plays, that could have been the difference. So excited about Bensal.
With the men's basketball team returning, they'll do so on Wednesday when USF comes to town. The tip-off scheduled at 7 p.m., and you can get your tickets by going to ECUPirates.com. South Florida is coming in off a game where they hit a program record in 3-point shots, and they're playing as well as anybody right now in the Americans. So it'll be a stout challenge for ECU, but a good crowd is needed certainly at Williams Arena Minges Coliseum on Wednesday with South Florida coming to town. We'll take a timeout and return. Do you want to go ahead and get RJ or Pettiford on? What do you think?
Let's do it. Yeah,
All right.
I think those guys, they're eager to get on the radio
All right,
right
well,
now.
we'll get RJ. RJ Felton will join us when we come back here on Inside Pirate Athletics from Tiebreakers.
Here at WNCT, we know Eastern North Carolina is constantly growing and changing.
With multiple newscasts all week long, you can trust us to keep you in the know.
We're out in the community, putting a spotlight on local news and events.
And monitoring weather that directly affects you so you can stay on top of any of the latest changes by watching our Storm Team 9 forecast.
We're on your side because Eastern North Carolina is our home too.
Watch WNCT 9 on your side news.
We had other companies out, and Easy Pro easily beat their price.
We are offering $1,000 off your bathroom remodel, plus an additional $300 off if you act right now. Give us a call or go online to easyprobathsexpress.com.
Every team dreams of greatness, but only one will make history. The CW is your new home for college football as we team up with the ACC for 13 weeks of electrifying games. Saturdays will be legendary. The ACC on the CW. It all kicks off Saturday, September 9th.
He ran a red light and T-boned me.
Got rear-ended on my bike.
His fault. End of story.
No brainer, right?
Just when you think you've got it all figured out, you realize you need Wayne Hardy.
Injury cases are never simple.
There's always more to the story.
Offers you can't refuse.
But it's my job to get you a fair settlement.
Been in a wreck? You need the Wayne Hardy difference.
Trust WNCT 9 and Your Side News. Awarded for excellence with 17 honors, including TV News Anchor Team of the Year, Ken Watlington and Courtney Courtwright.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ken Watlington.
And I'm Courtney Courtwright. Thanks for joining us.
And #1 in covering investigative and political stories.
Well, WNCT is your local election headquarters.
Now, the bill will be voted on shortly in the House before heading to Governor Cooper's desk.
Thank you for letting us be on your side.
If you want the latest in local news,
reliable Storm Team 9 weather forecasts,
and everything in between, we've got you covered.
watch 9 on Your Side Morning Edition.
Weekdays from 4:30 to 7.
Live from Tiebreakers in Greenville.
Pirates with a victory in overtime against Temple, and R.J. Felton was one of the stars of the day. He had 24 points and 11 rebounds for ECU. He joins us here on Inside Pirate Athletics from Tiebreakers tonight. Great to have R.J. with us here. What a win. Let's start there. And obviously it was the defensive effort that won it for East Carolina yesterday.
Yeah, we had came in the game. Ooh. I don't like hearing myself like that, but we came in the game thinking defensive first, rebounding. Even though we shot the ball terrible, I just felt like we had made an impact on defense and rebounding. There's
a play you made where you went in, missed a shot, but then you were so quick off the floor to tip it in. I don't know if you remember that. And I was actually on the phone with somebody watching the game. I said, that guy, he's so springy. And I mean, you're just quick off the floor. You might be the quickest jumper. You certainly were on the floor last night. But do you recall that play? Because that was a heck of a play. I mean, it was a time ECU needed a bucket. You took the shot, and then you get the tip in.
I think when I think Coach Schwartz ran a play for me, to post up and get a shot inside my paint. And then I had made a pump fake, got a defender up, missed the chip in.
Yeah.
And then I got a second chance point.
Hit a couple big free throws late, too.
Yeah, I went 7-7 for the line. I feel like that when we was that last one, 58 to 60, when I had got the offensive rebound,
right.
I think my leg had cramped up. So I was like, let me lock in and knock these two down.
We asked you about after the game, RJ, but how do you get the kind of the pain or discomfort of your leg out in that moment and just focus on, man, you got to make these free throws. Like the game's on the line. How do you just try to find a way to lock in there?
Well, when I say it's a big time to knock down those free throws, like either this determine whether you go 3 and 5 and 4 and 4. Like it always comes down to a thin margin of winning.
For you, you guys have preached defense ever since Schwartz came in, but does it sometimes take, I don't know, an instance like this where you're finding ways to win defensively to kind of to really kind of see, hey, man, if we really do play defense, even if we shoot poorly, we can win games, multiple games.
Yeah, defense will win championship, like they always say. Like when you dedicate your defense and rebounding, everything's going to chip in by itself.
Going on the road, you have won already 2 conference games on the road too. How much do you feel like defense has helped in that regard as well?
I feel like we shot the ball pretty well down there in Wichita State, and we relied on defensive work. We had met our goals on the defensive goals, and I just say that we rely on that. We can win more games down the stretch.
I know you're not keeping up with stats, but you get 11 rebounds, had a couple blocks in the game, 3 steals. So just doing a lot of things yesterday. Is it one of those days you felt like you just had to do a little more? And I mean, you do a lot as is, but you knew you had to hit the glass a little harder yesterday.
Well, Coach always emphasized me going to the offensive glass and try to grab more rebounds, telling me you're not 6'3", you got to think in your mind that you're 6'7", 6'8". So I had to do that, and then wherever it takes to win.
Take us back to Aiken High School, man. You played football as well as basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much do you miss your football days?
Well, I'm gonna say this. I had started off playing football at North Augusta, to be exact.
Okay.
Started playing wide receiver. I could take it way back to Pee Wee days, playing running back and playing linebacker and defensive end. I kind of miss football though. I'm missing knocking people's heads off.
You still kind of play football on the basketball court there. Everybody else is playing finesse, and you're bringing the physicality, right?
Yeah, people don't like the physicality nowadays. You got to rough people up sometimes.
I want to ask you too. Before games, you kind of have this ritual where you jump into the goal. Does that like just get you going, like the contact? What kind of take us through that?
Man, that was just a ritual what I did during high school. Like, you know how like Steph Curry go to the goalpost and punch it. I just go on to give it a little show, but just to try to break the goal down, to release some anger.
RJ Felton is here with us. Your brother's going to be a Pirate next year. I know you're excited about that.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited about that. Having a little bro right beside me in the backcourt, I can teach him a whole lot of things and show him more. It's bigger than basketball, like life outside of basketball and all that kind of stuff.
Has he ever beaten you in one-on-one?
No.
Okay.
When I talked to him after he committed RJ, he said you didn't like pressure him to go to ECU. You kind of let him make his own decision. So what was that process like? Talking to him, probably trying to give him advice, but you didn't want him to necessarily have to come here if he didn't want to.
Well, all his decisions are based on what he think and what he see as go. I told him it'd probably be nice for to play alongside him one time, like we did in high school, just for him to learn the scheme and set and all the stuff like in college right now.
I didn't know your dad coached until you said something here before we went on. So how important was it to have a coach in the family as far as you and your brother developing in basketball?
Well, my dad been coaching me since I was yay high, like 6 years old, 7 years old. He always ingrained basketball in me, like waking up thinking about basketball, like being more steps ahead in front of everybody, playing above my age, learning like 5th grade and 6th grade and all that kind of stuff.
RJ, as far as the upcoming game, you got South Florida coming in. I know you guys looked at the film from today's game, but if you obviously pay attention, South Florida's playing a really good brand of basketball right now. They like to shoot the three. They've had success at that. So it'll be another tough game in the American.
They're the number one team in the conference that I've seen. Well, I say that it's going to be a tough game in front of us. I feel like we need everybody in line. Like this a big game.
Students have been really good this year too, haven't they? The student section has.
Oh yeah, shout out to the Mingy Maniacs, man.
RJ, great to see you. Wonderful job yesterday and continued success. And come back and see us here before the season's up.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna see y'all.
All right.
Appreciate it, RJ.
RJ Felton with us here. 24 points, 11 rebounds yesterday. All right, we're going to take a timeout, and when we come back, Bobby Pettiford Jr. will join us here. Look forward to talking to him from South Granville High on the other side of this timeout. This is Inside Pirate Athletics on the ECU Sports Network.
He ran a red light and T-boned me.
Got rear-ended on my bike.
His fault. End of story.
No brainer, right?
Just when you think you've got it all figured out, you realize you need Wayne Hardy.
Injury cases are never simple.
There's always more to the story.
Offers you can't refuse.
But it's my job to get you a fair settlement.
Been in a wreck? You need the Wayne Hardy difference.
We had other companies out, and Easy Pro easily beat their price.
We are offering $1,000 off your bathroom remodel, plus an additional $300 off if you act right now. Give us a call or go online to easyprobathsexpress.com.
Watch 9 on Your Side Weekend Edition on the CW. That's right. If you missed the 6 o'clock newscast, switch to the Eastern North Carolina CW for WNCT 9 Weekend Edition news at 10. Then come back here for more local news at 11. On Your Side all week long.
You're locked on to Inside Pirate Athletics, live from Tiebreakers in Greenville.
All right, welcome back. ECU women's basketball back home February 1st. They'll take on Tulsa. That is a 6 o'clock tip-off. You can purchase your tickets by heading to ECUPirates.com. Patrick Johnson along with Stephen Igo and Bobby Pettiford Jr. from South Granville High School joins us here at the table. Just a couple of really good games for you. I think a lot of guys, if they were in the lineup and then, now coming off the bench, and we all know it's how you finish the game, not who starts the game. A lot of guys would have hung their heads, but you haven't done that.
Yes, sir. It was just great to, be able to kind of bounce back from a few bad games. And, Coach did that and, opened my eyes. And I'm proud of Jay Walk for stepping in and, playing great. So, I'm still able to come in and make winning plays and do what it takes to win. So, it's no problem for me.
Do you feel like that it's given you a perspective for the first few minutes of the game that you've been able to see and then go in and make a difference?
Yeah, because when you're starting the game, you're trying to, get a feel, of your opponent, even though you do scout and film. But once you're out there, it's different. So being able to sit down for a few minutes and kind of see what they do, how they guard, pick and roll, it makes it easier when I get out there.
You had talked about, too, you and Jaden Walker are pretty close with one another.
Yes, sir. That's my guy. That's one of the first guys. That was my workout partner when I committed this summer. And we just always talked about playing together. And, Jay Walk, he's clicking now. And for me and him to be able to, really play together and, do it together in the same lineup. I remember in the locker room, he hugged me and we were both like, we finally were able to get one with both of us playing together at the 1 and 2. So it was good.
He seems like a pretty quiet guy. So where have you guys found common ground?
We love the game, when you love basketball, you can find a way through whatever, we're kind of into the same things, love to play the game, just chill with the guys, go shopping, we're both goofy people, so it's perfect.
Bobby, I want to ask you, man, about your rebounding, because you've had some huge boards the last few games. You talk about winning plays, so what has kind of led to that? Like whether it's running down a loose ball or out jumping somebody, like those are some huge rebounds you're grabbing.
I want to, shout out our big guys. They kind of make some rebounds, they make the big blockouts. I just slide through and kind of just jump up and kind of surprise them. But, thanks to them. And then Coach Schwartz has always told me, you're not a 6-foot guard. You're 6'3", 6'4". So, he's been on me about getting my rebounding averages up. In the last 2 games, I've been able to do that.
You think you got a double-double in your future as far as rebounds instead of
assists?
Triple-double,
I go.
We can go triple-double, too, but I think you got a shot.
I hope so. That's the goal. Just 5 more rebounds, a few more assists, and I'll be able to get it.
What's it been like, man, just finding ways to win? And you come from a winning program in Kansas, obviously, and trying to recreate some of those things here, even when you don't play your best to win?
Just kind of stepping up with my voice, being more vocal, being a leader. Coach has been on me about that hard. Being a point guard, I'm a reflection of him. I'm the coach on the floor, so that's the biggest thing, just being vocal.
We were talking about it a little bit in the break. You wanted to get closer to home when leaving Kansas. How did the East Carolina opportunity present itself, and how did it, make its way onto your radar as something you want to do?
Honestly, I think as soon as I entered the portal, 30 seconds into the portal, I checked my phone, and it was the first notification was, East Carolina. So, we got on top of that kind of right away. I was kind of sure what I wanted to do from the beginning and kind of waited a little bit. But once I was able to move back home and, get everything together, and I came to ECU, just meeting the whole staff and all the players, they welcomed me with open arms. I just knew it was the perfect fit. You
had a little familiarity, obviously, just being where you were in Durham and South Granville High, but also the previous staff, if I'm not mistaken, had recruited you, and that was a pretty good experience,
yes, sir.
If I recall. So you'd had some familiarity with the program and kind of what Greenville is all about.
Yep, I was up here like almost every other weekend on a visit. Watching the games, just getting a view of, the ECU atmosphere. My parents were with me, so they knew kind of how Greenville was. So just to be able to kind of come back and it be full circle was great.
And you played probably one of the most epic games ever played in Minges during your high school career. Farmville. Was it double overtime or overtime in the Eastern Regional Final?
I think just overtime.
Just overtime. But, a lot of people said that was the state championship game that year.
Yeah,
South Granville and Farmville Central. Unfortunately for you, the Jags got you. I know there's some Farmville fans probably here tonight. But what a game that was.
Yeah, that was a great game. I was able to play against Terquavion, who plays for the 76ers now. Is one of my best friends. We grew up since 3rd grade playing against each other and playing with each other. So being able to do it at the highest level at ECU, they came out on top. But that's probably the best game I've played in, and it was a great game.
I know Igo has a couple more questions, and I tried to tell you this in a post game after you hit that midcourt shot, but you were too excited after you hit that. But you had one of the great plays I've ever seen calling a game. It was the high school TV package Jay Sonalder and I were doing in Raleigh, and you guys were playing your rival. and you take it in on a dunk and dunk it. It's at home, and you get fouled.
Oh,
and
against Granville Central?
Yes, you remember that now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was the guy announcing it going crazy.
That's crazy. Small
world.
world. Yeah, that's probably the best play I've had in high school.
Yeah,
honestly,
that was pretty good. I said, this Bobby Pettiford's big time. So how about the midcourt shot?
Honestly, I don't even know. I looked at the clock, threw it up, it kind of looked online, said a little prayer, mid shot, and then it fell, and I still can't believe it to this day that shot went in.
Yeah.
Bobby, what's it like playing for Coach Schwartz, who I don't know if there's a more animated coach on the sideline. He's basically a sixth defender out there. So do you ever have to tell him to calm down a little bit?
No, I never tell. I never tell Coach calm down. He's going. Sometimes I think he's in the game.
Seems like it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's great to have a coach, that's that into the game. Every time, we're on defense, if I'm guarding on the wing, he's almost right there beside me in the same stance as me. So it's great having a coach like him who picks you up, who lets you go. He's a player's coach. He loves us, so it's a great guy to play for.
And there was a shot you hit at Wichita late where he gave a big fist bump on the sideline. I don't know if you noticed because you were playing, but when he's that into the game and he obviously wants you to, he talked about it, be more aggressive on offense. What does that mean to you too? To see your coach kind of back you like that?
I mean, it feels good to have a coach that believes in me like that. That's what I came here for, to play and show who I am. So from day one of when I entered the portal, that was their biggest thing with me, of telling me the type of player I really am and, kind of putting that confidence into me.
Well, Bobby, you guys have kind of fought back. Now 2 games over 500, but 4-4 in the conference. What will you look to do as you get the midway point against South Florida here at home, and then what do you think this team's capable of for the stretch run of the season?
I think roster-wise, we're capable, playing in March, competing in March. That's kind of all I'm used to, so that's what I want to do.
Right.
I know RJ wants to do that for ECU. He's been here, the longest out of everybody in the group, so he wants to play in March. Coach Schwartz, everybody has a winning mentality. So, I mean, we just got to keep building. We got 2 in a row here, so we can stack 2 this week. That'll be great for us.
Hey, Bobby, great to see you. I hope we'll get a chance to have you back again real soon. And
yes, sir.
Continued success. Thanks for coming
Appreciate
by.
it, Bobby. Thank you, guys.
Bobby Pettiford, great job by him. Always enjoyed talking to him. All right, we're taking a timeout, and we're coming back. Before we do, Pirate Fans Food Line is proud to sponsor the Score to Give More program. For each free throw made by the Pirates, Food Line will donate 100 meals to local area food banks. We'll continue on with more Inside ECU Athletics, or more Pirate Athletics, if you will, hear from Tiebreakers tonight on the ECU Sports Radio Network.
We call it drive. The unrelenting desire to become the person you were born to be. Ignited by a moment. The realization that a future you could only dream of is within reach. At East Carolina University, you won't just imagine a path. You'll forge one through hard work and the success that comes without surrender. The journey that leads to your future. And this is where it begins.
He ran a red light and T-boned me.
Got rear-ended on my bike.
His fault. End of story.
No brainer, right?
Just when you think you've got it all figured out, you realize you need Wayne Hardy.
Injury cases are never simple.
There's always more to the story.
Offers you can't refuse.
But it's my job to get you a fair settlement.
Been in a wreck? You need the Wayne Hardy difference.
Being on your side means bringing you the most up-to-date and accurate information.
We know how important it is for you to be informed on what's happening in your community. Whether it's the latest developments in local news,
or knowing what to expect for the day ahead with your Storm Team 9 weather forecast.
Morning Edition has you covered.
Across the East will soon have a new spot to play the game.
Buzzing and trending news today.
Watch WNCT 9 Morning Edition weekdays from 4:30 to 7.
We had other companies out, and Easy Pro easily beat their price.
We are offering $1,000 off your bathroom remodel, plus an additional $300 off if you act right now. Give us a call or go online to easyprobathsexpress.com.
Hello E&C goes all around the East.
From Atlantic Beach,
Newburgh,
Ocracoke,
Newport,
Emerald Isle.
When did you get here?
Just now.
Jacksonville,
Washington,
Kinston,
Beaufort,
Morehead City,
Goldsboro,
Aden,
Elizabeth City.
and from Greenville.
We're living, loving local.
If you want the latest in local news,
Reliable Storm Team 9 weather forecasts.
And everything in between, we've got you covered.
watch 9 on Your Side Morning Edition.
Weekdays from 4:30 to 7.
Trust WNCT 9 and Your Side News. Awarded for excellence with 17 honors, including TV News Anchor Team of the Year, Ken Watlington and Courtney Courtwright.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ken Watlington.
And I'm Courtney Courtwright. Thanks for joining us.
And #1 in covering investigative and political stories.
Well, WNCT is your local election headquarters.
Now, the bill will be voted on shortly in the House before heading to Governor Cooper's desk.
Thank you for letting us be on your side.
Pirate Athletics from Tiebreakers in Greenville.
Pirate men's basketball on the floor again at Minges Coliseum against USF. Tip-off scheduled for 6:30 airtime here on the network and many of these same stations. Of course, you can head to purchase your tickets at ECUPirates.com. Coach Schwartz joins Steve and Igo and myself here. David Horn, our producer, back in our studios, Scotty Scooter Rogers, who's getting ready for Pirate baseball coming up. All right, well, South Florida comes in, and Coach 6-1 on the year. They have been, I would think they and Charlotte have been kind of two of the surprise teams in the American. You've got those two teams coming up.
Yeah, I mean, the very top of the league right now. Both teams just playing very good basketball on multiple game winning streaks. I believe right now South Florida's won 5 games in a row, and just playing dynamic basketball in conference play. And then as we get into the weekend, again, you know, obviously when you just know who's ahead of you with Charlotte, and then Charlotte playing as good as anybody in this league.
So as you scout the Bulls, really good three-point shooting team. I'm sure they play in a reminiscent manner of some ways of Kennesaw State, because that's where their coach came from.
Yeah, and again, you know, we saw some players that he coached last year at Kennesaw State. We know how good of a ball club that was, and then now a couple guys that came over. So we know, again, team that shoots the ball very, very well from behind the arc. Great spacing on offense. Keyshawn Pryor, a 5-man for them that really makes it difficult because he keeps the floor space, but he does so much more than just that. I mean, the way he plays, you look at the statistical categories that he is at the very top for them. I mean, that's very versatile, so he causes a lot of problems for teams. Selton Miguel, what he does, scoring the basketball is their leading scorer. And then Youngblood as a player. So right now, you look at the balance of their team scoring the basketball. They're the only team in the conference right now that's top 4 offense and top 4 defense. And a very interesting stat, every single one of their players in conference play is a positive assist to turnover, every single one of them. They don't have one player in conference play that has more turnovers than assists. And that's a sign of a great ball club.
Coach, you're on a run now where y'all haven't really had a break between games. It's been kind of back to back to back. So how do you feel like the guys are holding up, you know, mentally and physically this time of year when you kind of enter that grind? Yeah, it is the grind, and it's what conference plays, and every team will go through it. We're in a stretch right now of 3 games in 6 days. When you talk about playing Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. And so that's just what it is. I mean, again, you and I talked about this. If they made us play every day, we'd play every day, and we'd embrace it, and you'd find a way to do it. So we have a routine that we do physically. We have a routine that we do mentally / scouting. We started that today with South Florida as we got in, and we started watching film on them this morning. We couldn't do anything physically today. It was the day for their bodies, take care of their bodies, ice baths, treatments, things with our sports and performance. So we did that. Heavy academic day because, you know, you got to get caught up on the days that you don't have practice. But this is what you embrace about college basketball, and we're in a real week that will test us. We talked about Ben Sal a little bit earlier, and crucial minutes off the bench the past couple games for Val Pinedo, I think, Coach. He's just making plays that maybe don't show up, but he did score a basket. Caleb had a huge basket. So just, you know, the development of that depth to kind of help you out during a stretch like this, how key is that?
It's so big. It's so big for the production that, like Val, for example, last night. Val plays 8 minutes, gets 4 rebounds in 8 minutes, and gets fouled 3 times. He draws 3 fouls and has 4 rebounds in 8 minutes. Huge. I mean, huge. Now, that showed up in the stat sheet, but what doesn't show up is the way he keeps the ball moving on offense, the way he screens for people, and the plays that he makes. Caleb LeCount goes in the game and just provides a spark and an energy that we really need. And so you would look at that and you'd say he played 8 minutes, Val. Caleb played 11. But you know what? In a game where R.J. Felton plays 43 and Brandon Johnson plays 41 and Ezra plays 38, those 11 minutes you get from the bench, that 1 to 2 minutes that Bob might get to rest or Jaden might get to rest or Brandon might get to rest, it's just really big. And for those minutes to actually be productive, whether it be stat sheet productive or just like Val was at Wichita State, it didn't show up in the stat sheet, but we don't win that game at Wichita without Val. With the way he played, sealed, the angles he was creating for our players on offense. Just really proud of those two guys, but our bench really helped us the last 2 games.
I know a lot of the focus on South Florida right now, but Charlotte coming up, and we mentioned one of the surprise teams in the American. From a proximity, you're going to take a conference bus trip. That's not something that happens every day in the American.
You know what? I think it's great. And again, I just have so much respect for South Florida and Amir, and I know him, the head coach there, and Aaron at Charlotte and what they've done. And for Amir to come in to South Florida and Aaron to come in from Conference USA and bring Charlotte, and they've got both their teams at the top of the league. I think it's just a testament to them and their programs and their players and coaching staff. But I think here's the great thing about the Charlotte ECU game is that for the first time, we do get an opportunity to do that. Where we are located in this conference, we have to go to Texas 5 different times. 5 different times we end up in Texas if you include the conference tournament, which is in Fort Worth. And you're down in South Florida, and you're up in Philadelphia, and you're in Wichita, and you're in Memphis. And now ECU in the American, and Charlotte would say the same. We get a natural rivalry for the universities, the fan bases, in-state, and that is great for college basketball. That's what makes college basketball great. And to be able to have a bus trip for fans, for players, for coaches, that's a great deal for Charlotte and ECU.
And there's a strong alumni base out in Charlotte of ECU fans. So an opportunity for some Pirate fans that maybe don't get to Greenville very often to watch basketball. There's an opportunity for them to see you play out there. That's great.
It would be awesome. And to be able to have fans on the road. Again, another thing that makes college basketball so great. When you're in those opportunities to play within bus or limited distance, and you get fans on the road. It's a great part of college basketball.
We'll come back and wrap up the show right after this. Is David Horn saying we need to take a break, so we will. It is Inside Pirate Athletics from Tiebreakers.
Here at WNCT, we know Eastern North Carolina is constantly growing and changing.
With multiple newscasts all week long, you can trust us to keep you in the know.
We're out in the community, putting a spotlight on local news and events.
And monitoring weather that directly affects you so you can stay on top of any of the latest changes by watching our Storm Team 9 forecast.
We're on your side because Eastern North Carolina is our home too.
Watch WNCT 9 on your side news.
We had other companies out, and Easy Pro easily beat their price.
We are offering $1,000 off your bathroom remodel, plus an additional $300 off if you act right now. Give us a call or go online to easyprobathsexpress.com.
Every team dreams of greatness, but only one will make history. The CW is your new home for college football as we team up with the ACC for 13 weeks of electrifying games. Saturdays will be legendary. The ACC on the CW. It all kicks off Saturday, September 9th.
He ran a red light and T-boned me.
Got rear-ended on my bike.
His fault. End of story.
No brainer, right?
Just when you think you've got it all figured out, you realize you need Wayne Hardy.
Injury cases are never simple.
There's always more to the story.
Offers you can't refuse.
But it's my job to get you a fair settlement.
Been in a wreck? You need the Wayne Hardy difference.
Trust WNCT 9 and Your Side News. Awarded for excellence with 17 honors, including TV News Anchor Team of the Year, Ken Watlington and Courtney Courtwright.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ken Watlington.
And I'm Courtney Courtwright. Thanks for joining us.
And #1 in covering investigative and political stories.
Well, WNCT is your local election headquarters.
Now the bill will be voted on shortly in the House before heading to Governor Cooper's desk.
Thank you for letting us be on your side.
If you want the latest in local news,
reliable Storm Team 9 weather forecasts,
and everything in between, we've got you covered.
watch 9 on Your Side Morning Edition.
Weekdays from 4:30 to 7.
Member FDIC.
You're listening to Inside Pirate Athletics, live from Tiebreakers in Greenville.
All right, we're getting ready to wrap things up here. Got a couple of minutes, a little 2-minute drill with Coach Schwartz. And Coach, what were maybe, we talked about the press, talked about some key free throws. We've talked about some of the players from yesterday. Was there an X-factor moment, something we haven't talked about, or an X-factor player? I know we talked about Val a little bit yesterday that got you the victory.
I think the free throws were a big piece. Taking care of the basketball was huge. Again, that's what cost us in the UAB game. And it's what allowed us in a non-great shooting night versus Wichita and versus Temple to win. So taking care of the basketball was really big. And then the other thing, again, those second chances, 17 offensive rebounds, 16 offensive rebounds, without a doubt. RJ's play late, Brandon Johnson in overtime, a big wedge out offensive rebound that saves us a possession. Ezra Assar, big offensive rebound late. The loose balls, rebounds, and taking care of the basketball ended up being, that really was the X factor non-player wise.
Coach, we saw Sear Malonga make a second straight start and maybe not playing like a giant volume of minutes, but just seemingly making those incremental improvements a freshman makes. What are you seeing out of him thus far?
Yeah, just what you just said, and we're going to keep going that direction because we love Sear, the way he works every day, what he brings to the team. The impact he made rim protection-wise last night and in the middle of our zone was really big, and just excited for the continued development of Sear.
Coach, as far as kind of keys to the USF game and just really keys to this week, Pirates have a little streak going here, want to continue it.
Yeah, again, it's all about South Florida right now. Again, as good a team as there is in this league, coming in first place. They are a dynamic offensive team. They play very good defense, again, top 4 in both. So we're going to have to guard the three-point line. We're going to have to guard great spacing. A team that's not just a three-point shooting team, but they shoot the ball very well because of their spacing and their versatility on offense, their versatility on defense is going to be a great test for us.
What would it mean to have a huge crowd on Wednesday for you guys?
It would be awesome because this league is all about home court advantage, and there are some incredible atmospheres. You look around TV last night on national TV, some of the games that were on, and we know we need that inside the building on Wednesday night because we got the first place team coming in with a chance to do something that hasn't been done in the American before. We're 4-4 right now, but we got a chance through the first half of play to be in a good position, and it would be great to have an awesome crowd in there.
Absolutely would. Coach, thanks for the time, and good luck this week. Really
Thank
appreciate
you guys.
it.
Appreciate it.
All right, Coach Mike Schwartz with us here. Thanks to R.J. Felton and Bobby Pettiford Jr. as well. Thanks to Steven. Thanks to Scooter back in the studios and the incomparable David Horn. Producing here on site. For all those folks, I'm Patrick Johnson. We'll join you next week here from Tiebreakers for more Inside Pirate Athletics. Have a great week, everybody.